You know you can finish. You know you can do it. You can see the finished product. You know that you would kill this. You know that if you only finish this, it would be amazing. Hi, my name is Brittany Alexis, and welcome to another episode of Goode Soil. It is good to see you, not see you, / you know what I mean. Today we're just gonna dive right into the questions. I don't think I have any updates, at least any exciting ones. It was my roommate's birthday, so that was fun. We, had like a girls' night in and played board games and watched the first okay, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if anyone's seen The First Daughter with Katie Holmes. Oh boy. And we watched that, didn't realize that was directed by Forest Whitaker. Like, that's so random to me. So I feel like that's a pretty good update. If you've seen that movie, know that it is directed by Forest Whitaker. Good for him. That was very shocking to me for some reason. So that was cool. I just didn't know he directed. I didn't know he directed that movie of all movies. Like, it was so random. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. But that's my update. Really exciting, really good stuff. So we are going to dive into our question today. And our question reads, Dear Goode Soil, I know lots of creatives struggle with completing tasks and focusing when there are multiple avenues of art and expression. How do you finish what you started when you feel like you're constantly being pulled in many creative directions? Ooh, that is a big old juicy question. That is a good question, especially for our creatives, especially for our neurodivergent, neurospicy folks. And I check both of those boxes, creative and neurodivergent. So I can really relate to this. And honestly, it's hard. It's hard being creative. It is hard being creative and neurospicy. It is just... It's hard. I'm validating that experience. It is freaking hard being creative and being pulled in a lot of different directions, and everything is so exciting and everything is, I gotta do everything. I gotta paint and I gotta write and I'm a poet and I play the bongos and it's really fun and it's really chaotic at the same time. So I understand the struggle. The struggle is real. Don't let anyone tell you that it's not real, and don't let anyone tell you that it is not hard to juggle your creative interests and just your interests in general. That is hard, and you're not gonna like my answer, because I didn't like my answer when I was sort of on my journey of sort of growing and learning how to navigate my brain, navigate my creativity. And I'm still learning. I'm still on this journey. But it really requires two things, I think. It requires emotional regulation, which is hard. Especially when you're emotional, sensitive, creative, everything's exciting, everything's amazing. And discipline, emotional regulation and discipline. Two words that, one, sound very neurotypical and very non-creative and very unexciting or not exciting. But two words that are really important to the creative process and actually allow more creative freedom and more creative sort of calmness when it's all said and done. So let's start with emotional regulation. When we want to procrastinate on, let's say we start a task, but we're really excited to start it. It's all sunshine and roses when we begin. Everything feels like it's flowing. Everything's just like pouring out of you. You have that joy. You have that excitement. You have that feeling like you're going to finish this. You've got wind behind your sails. Everything's going well. And then cut to day 5, and the way you felt when you started is not the same. You're depressed today, you're anxious today, this mountain feels really big, you have 100 pages left to write, or you have, another corner to paint, or you have 2 more, you have to write the chorus of a song. I'm a writer, and I dabble in like other things, but I don't really know a lot about other creative expressions that I haven't quite dabbled in, but you get the point. You're in the middle, you're in the thick of your project, and you still have a ways to go, and you can see that the finish line just seems to get further and further away. That is where emotional regulation is so important. Taking that deep breath, allowing yourself to just sit in the crap, in the gunk of feeling like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And to me, getting vocal about it is important. Like, I don't want to do this. Just saying it out loud, sitting down and being like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to write right now. I don't want to paint right now. I don't want to, what other type of art is there? Why am I blanking on every other form of art? I don't want to, it's like writing and painting are the only two that are coming to my mind, but I don't want to do expression of art. I don't want to sew. I don't want to sketch, whatever. There we go. There we go. That is when you can just get it out. Just express that vocally. I don't want to do this. Write it down in your journal. I really don't want to do this right now. Acknowledge that you don't want to do it. Acknowledge that it's painful to sit down and do it. Take a deep breath and just set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm going to only do this for 5 minutes. I'm going to paint for 5 minutes. I'm going to do whatever for 5 minutes. And just setting that timer can feel heavy and hard and painful, but pat yourself on the back once you do that. Give yourself those rewards. Give yourself that validation that this is hard, and every step after I say this is hard is even harder. So the more that what I can get accomplished, setting that timer, putting my phone on the table, taking that deep breath, doing one stroke, typing one word, that is you stepping over the barrier of that emotion and regulating yourself. You are saying that I'm not going to prioritize my emotions in this moment, even though my emotions are big, even though my emotions feel like they're going to kill me, even though my emotions are literally causing me internal turmoil and pain. I'm going to step over this. And a lot of people are saying, like, if it's causing you that much strife, do you even want to do the thing? Do you even want to be an artist? Do you even want to be a creative? And the answer is yes. Unless you really just hate it, but otherwise, why are you even giving it this much energy? Why is it even stressing you out this much? Other things you don't want to do probably aren't stressing you out that much. So things that you genuinely don't want to do but have to do might be stressing you out. But when it comes to creative expression, like, people who aren't creative aren't stressing about not creatively expressing themselves. So if you are stressing out, you're creative, you want to do this in your mind, or somewhere in you wants to do this, somewhere in you knows that you should complete this task, or you could complete this task. It's a matter of stepping over that emotional barrier, regulating yourself. You can do it. It takes practice. The first, however many times it takes you, it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to, because that doesn't help. You beating yourself up, you shaming yourself, you guilting yourself, you talking, harsh to yourself does not help you regulate your emotions. It just spins you out, makes you spiral, and puts you in a further funk. So be kind to yourself, be gentle. Really, honestly, baby step it. Like I said, turn the timer on. Woo! Pat yourself on the back. Turn the timer on. Okay, that's one less step. Okay, I wrote a word. Woo! It may sound trivial. It may sound like lame or whatever, or you're like, I should be further ahead. That feels like so silly. I have to do that. We all work differently. Our brains work differently. Sometimes we have to do these things to get through the day. Sometimes we have to do these things to get over these hurdles that may not come to other people, may come to you more than other people, whatever. But just know, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if I can do it, you can do it. I promise you. Like, I am a procrastination queen. I have been dysregulated. I'm at a loss for words how dysregulated I can be. But when I allowed myself to just sit in how bad I felt and acknowledge how bad I felt, whether I said it out loud or I cried about it or I wrote it down, that allowed me to acknowledge my feelings and not invalidate myself, so that I didn't go into those spirals of negative self-talk and just piling it on. It allowed me to validate myself and hear myself. It also brought God into the conversation. And that may sound strange, but when I did kind of cry out, and when I did sort of express this pain, it made it a communal thing. It made the space a safe space. And it also just called down that I can't do this by myself. I need help with this journey. I need you, God, to teach me how to regulate. How can I get over this hurdle? How do I get over this barrier? Teach me. And I will say, I'm going to say three things. Bringing in God or bringing in your source or your higher being is so important to the creative process because it's where the creativity comes from. You are creative because your creator is creative and he created you to be creative. So embarking on this journey without that, without remembering that, and without bringing God along is going to do you a disservice in the long. It may not feel like it, but you can't go down this journey of creativity alone. You need God, you need community as well, earthly community, other creatives around you encouraging you. You do need to bring that. So I will say that is a key part of my emotional regulation and discipline journey when it came to my creativity, was bringing God into it and saying, Lord, please teach me how to do this. Please, I'm tired of starting things and not finishing. I'm tired of feeling this way every time I sit down to write. I love writing, but I'm tired of it becoming this slog and this horrible process where it's like stop and start and stop and start, and I feel bad and I don't want to do it anymore, and I don't want it to be that anymore. I want it to be more easeful. I want it to be more more giving and loving, and an experience where I am connected with God. I am worshiping God by developing my gifts and working on my craft is a form of worship. I am showing gratitude when I write. I'm showing gratitude when I express creativity. I am expressing, a part of me, a divine part of me when I do it. This is what creativity should be like. It doesn't mean it's not going to be hard or difficult, but sometimes when we prioritize emotions over prioritizing the act and the expression is where it becomes really difficult and harder than it needs to be. So really, like I said, baby stepping, taking deep breaths, one step at a time will help you start to emotionally regulate, will help you stop prioritizing how you feel, and help you jump over that barrier so that you can get things done and that you can actually bring into fruition the ideas and the things that are inside of you that are bursting to get out of you. It helps you get out of the way of you. And in doing that, that is how you build brick by brick discipline. That is how you show up and start building momentum, because the more you emotionally regulate, the more you step over that barrier, the more you begin and continue and show up day after day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever that may look like. Understand that the discipline comes from consistency. It doesn't necessarily come from you being like, I have to write every day at 2:00 p.m. for 30 minutes, and that's discipline. No, discipline is consistency. Discipline is saying, I'm going to show up for myself, even if it pains me, even if I can't go to that party tonight because I haven't written today, even if, I'd rather be watching a movie, even if I have to say no to that phone call. Discipline is just putting value on something and consistently putting value on that thing and consistently showing up for that thing and honoring that thing. And again, in a consistent way. And these three things really allow you to do that. Emotional regulation, step one, or you could say calling on God is step one or step two, and then showing up repeatedly. And again, if you express, the day is long, so you can spend an hour on the thing that you've prioritized. Let's say you started a script. You can prioritize that script for an hour and then use the energy and the momentum and sort of the positive feeling of finishing that prioritized creative expression, and then take that energy and go and put it in your other creative expressions. Our creative expressions usually, even though they feel like it sometimes, there usually are one or two that really are pressing to you and important to you and will go further for you. So again, really taking the time to prioritize what is important, getting that out of the way, and you can reward yourself by then being like, okay, now I'm going to make that confetti, sparkle billboard I wanted to make, or now I can finger paint, or now I can sew that dress or sketch that skirt that's been in my mind, whatever. It's about prioritization. It's about emotional regulation. It's about discipline. It's about bringing in your spiritual practice and working alongside God to create and to keep going and to not walk this journey alone. Because like I said at the beginning, it is a difficult journey being a creative. It is a difficult journey being different than how maybe other people in your world who are more analytical, even though I think everyone's creative in their own way. So everyone is creative, but I'm talking about my real creative beings who, tomorrow their hair is purple, today's green, whatever, who really are just out here living and every day, kind of flying by the seat of their pants. Even though discipline in these words sound very neurotypical and very stringent and very bleh to the creative, I promise you they really do help, and they really do make your creativity burst and pop and give you more freedom to be creative. Because I can speak to my own experience. As I kept writing and getting over that emotional hurdle and showing up even when I didn't want to, I cut to the point now today where I love, I have so much momentum. It doesn't hurt to really sit down and write. I'm excited throughout the day to write and sit down because I know, I can trust myself to finish what I start. And it just builds momentum. It builds and builds. When you finish that first thing that you start, you're like, okay, I can finish. And then you finish the second thing. Okay, I can finish. And then you finish the third thing. And then you start building that trust. And you're like, okay, something's happening here. I'm getting energy. I'm getting momentum, and it's pouring into other things that I'm working on. And so again, it's about leveraging your gifts and talents and really showing up for them and being disciplined about it, and understanding that the reward of these gross, nasty words really is more freedom and more opportunity. And because when you have something finished, that's an opportunity. You can sell that thing. You can show that thing. You can get feedback on that thing. Again, you stopping and starting isn't doing a disservice. And I guarantee it's adding more anxiety. It's adding more stress to your life. It's probably preventing you from being as creative as you want to be, because now you're hard on yourself and now you're beating yourself up. So take a deep breath. Really pick that one thing that's really pressing on you, that you really love to do, or that you really see yourself, going further with. Prioritize that. Focus on that first. Every day, just trying harder and harder every day, just showing up. Some days it's going to be easier. Some days it's going to be harder. But at the center of all this is self-compassion and self-love, which is really the lesson all of this is teaching you anyway, is that you can trust yourself and that you can love yourself no matter what's going on, and that you have more autonomy and agency over your mind and your spirit than you think you do, and that the world has told you do. So it may take a little longer. It may take you, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, but understanding you have to persevere through, you have to push through, because at the end of it, you get these beautiful gifts. And at the end of it, most importantly, you get the you that you can be. The most frustrating part, and I was talking to a friend about this, the most frustrating part sometimes about stopping and starting is the fact that you can finish. You can do it. You can see the finished product. You know that you would kill this. You know that if you only finish this, it would be amazing. And even if it's not, you know that you can do it. So it's frustrating when it's not adding up, when you're stopping and it's not adding up and everything is what if and I could have and should have. Go for it. Every day, stop and start, do what you got to do, be kind to yourself, be gentle. You are creative, which in my opinion is one of the best things you can be on this planet. So lean into that, be kind to yourself, and express, enjoy, prioritize, and come back to me when you've done this, a year later or 2 years later, when you're like, it was hard in the beginning, I slogged through, and then, it got easier and easier and easier. When you start seeing your portfolio grow and you start seeing things stack up and you're like, holy crap, not all of that's good, but all of that is finished and I did it. And that's all just monuments and testaments and testimonies of, your perseverance and your emotional regulation and your discipline and your walk with God and your trust and faith. You can look at that and really, there's so many gifts and so many lessons and so many testimonies that come along with this particular journey of finishing and discipline and all of that. So yeah, keep going, keep trying, keep showing up, talk to friends about it, use your community, really seek out resources as well. Sometimes you may need resources, especially if you're a little neurospicy. Sometimes you do need additional support and resources and, community to really help you along this journey. But there's nothing wrong with that. Find the path that works for you. Find the way that works for you. This worked for me, and truly I believe, and I know we all say that, but truly I believe if I can do it, you can do it, because, whew, girl, yeah. But you're doing fine. You're doing the best you can. Keep going, keep trying, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep figuring out how to be, the you want to be. And maybe you're the you want to be now, and that's amazing. That's amazing. Keep going, keep growing, keep glowing, and keep sowing. Sowing seeds and sowing if that is your creative expression. All right. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Remember that you are good soil. You truly are today good soil, as you are right now, good soil. And I'm so excited to continue to see you grow and to see the seeds that you're meant to birth and bring forward and grow to make the world a better place for the good. So yeah. Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for watching another episode of Good Soil. If you liked this video, be sure to share it with friends and family, because we could all use a little reminding that we are good soil. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.